This summer, Nickelodeon is back on the big screen with a brand new movie starring our very own Kenan and Kel.
Good burger!
You've seen them on all that. You've seen them on Kenan and Kel. Now see them on the big screen with a big buttery bag of popcorn in
Good burger!
That's right. These guys are making a movie.
Growing up in the 2000s, I always enjoyed watching Nickelodeon on TV. I spent countless hours watching shows like SpongeBob SquarePants, The Fairly Odd Parents, and Avatar: The Last Airbender, to name a few. Not only that, but I also remember enjoying 90s Nicktoons like the ones that I previously mentioned in my Rugrats movie trilogy analysis video. In the 90s, Nickelodeon was massive for their Nicktoons, but also known for their entertaining live-action shows, two of which were All That and Kenan and Kel, a spin-off series of All That starring All That's and arguably one of Nickelodeon's biggest duos, Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell, that centered around the two best friends. These two individuals became Nickelodeon staples in the 90s, and due to the success of both shows, as well as Kenan and Kel's stardom, Nickelodeon released Good Burger to theaters in 1997. Of course, this film was based on the popular All That sketches. This was Kenan and Kel's big screen debut as a duo. While not many critics liked Good Burger, the movie did well financially and became a cult classic over the years. You're probably wondering why I'm already making another video covering a Nickelodeon property. Well, this is because almost 26 years later, a sequel was announced on March 17th, 2023. It's set to stream on Paramount Plus possibly later in 2023 or early next year, and production for the film will start this summer as of this upload. Funny enough, in 1998, Nickelodeon published a book called Good Burger to Go, advertised as a direct sequel to the first film. Whether Good Burger 2 will be based on the book or if the book's canon will be erased, we still don't know. But in the meantime, to prepare for the sequel, let's look back at the 1997 Nickelodeon hit Good Burger to see if it still resonates as it did back then, or if it has become rotten like an old hamburger patty, right here on StalgiaTV. The movie starts on the first day of summer when our favorite Good Burger employee, Ed, has a dream about hovering in the air with talking hamburgers.
Don't sell me, Ed, please.
I want to stay here with you!
We love you, Ed.
This dream would become a nightmare for him. When Ed wakes up, he notices he is late for work, so he skates as fast as he can to work. During this, a girl with the jump rope gets caught in his skates being dragged across the road. He also causes a baby to get confused with a basketball, which is one of the wildest things I have seen in a Nickelodeon movie. Once he gets to work, a construction worker that has been waiting for minutes in line gets fed up with everyone at the Good Burger restaurant. He spitefully expresses his excitement for their upcoming competitor from across the street, Mondo Burger, which worries all the Good Burger employees as Mondo could very well run Good Burger out of business. We then cut to our other main character, Dexter Reed. He is very anxious to get out of school for the summer as he's counting down the seconds until school's out. When Dexter tries to leave, he is confronted and lectured by his teacher, Mr. Wheat, played by Sinbad. Dexter roasts the man's drip and leaves.
I'm worried about you too. Have you seen yourself lately? The fro, the boots, and his jacket. You have a nice summer, Shaft.
After discussing with his classmate, we learn that Dexter stole his mother's car while she was out of town on a business trip. When Ed embarks on a delivery with his skates, Dexter almost drives into Ed, causing him to crash into Mr. Wheat's car.
My afro! My afro! Why?
This is where we find out that Dexter doesn't have a driver's license yet. So to avoid possible jail time, Dexter tells Mr. Wheat that he wants to fix everything. So they both head to a car mechanic where Mr. Wheat receives his first bill for an estimate of $1,900. This leads to Dexter having no choice but to get a summer job. Dexter first gets a job at the upcoming Mondo Burger restaurant, but is fired after smart-mouthing Mondo's strict manager, Kirk Boswell. But his luck turns around when Dexter meets Ed face to face for the first time at the Good Burger, and Ed convinces Mr. Bailey to hire him. This is where he meets the rest of the crew and potential love interest Monique, a co-worker at the restaurant. Everything works well for Dexter at first until Mondo Burger officially opens to the public. Kirk walks into Mondo Burger to remind everyone that Mondo has officially opened and will run Good Burger to the ground.
I'm Ed.
Well, Ed, you better watch your butt, man.
Okay.
After a montage where Mondo takes business from Good Burger, Mr. Bailey walks into the restaurant with a Mondo Burger. Everyone realizes that their burgers are abnormally large and that Mondo charges the same amount as Good Burger does. That night, after seeing Ed bump into Otis, played by Abe Lagoda, yes, that Abe Lagoda, Dexter realizes that Ed caused his car crash and tells him that he wants nothing to do with him. The next day, Mr. Wheat runs into Dexter at the restaurant to give Dexter the final bill for his car, which adds up to $2,500. Mr. Wheat leaves to go to Mondo Burger and says this:
I'm gonna have lunch at Mondo Burger, home of the Big Booty Burger.
What?
Ed sits with Dexter while he has lunch to cheer him up. He succeeds and they briefly make up. This is where Ed shows Dexter the sauce he made. After he accidentally gets it all over Dexter, Dexter realizes that the sauce is actually really tasty. Dexter tells everyone to try his sauce. Mr. Bailey decides to let Ed create the sauce and put it on all the Good Burgers. Because of this, Good Burger does well financially again as people return to the restaurant. Dexter then talks Ed into signing a contract where he will receive only 20% of what he makes from the sauce. Dexter keeps the other 80%, taking full advantage of him.
I know some of these words.
This kid cannot be trusted. Later on, Ed and Dexter hang out at the top of the restaurant. This is where things get emotional when Dexter shares with Ed about his absent dad and a yo-yo his dad bought for him. Dexter then explains to Ed how he doesn't remember what his dad even looks like. Dexter tells Ed goodnight and calls him his buddy. Ed would then ask Dexter if he really meant it, and after being told yes, Ed smiles as Dexter leaves for the night. The next day, Dexter gets a delivery order and asks Monique to tag along, but takes Ed after he volunteers. It turns out that this delivery is for NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal. Dexter and Ed both hug him. Shaq tries the burger on camera and likes it. This looks really good for Good Burger, and Kirk from Mondo is furious, demanding employees to increase the patty size even more. Kirk runs into Ed the following morning and gives him a ride to work. This is where he convinces Ed to quit Good Burger and come to Mondo Burger. Dexter sees this and tells Ed not to tell Kirk about the sauce. Ed then gives Dexter a yo-yo just like his childhood yo-yo. Kirk sends an undercover woman to flirt with Ed and try to get the sauce ingredients from him. This doesn't work out well for Roxanne as she gets endlessly injured during their double date with Dexter and Monique.
I'm guessing she didn't get the sauce recipe.
I'm aware.
Monique finds out about Ed and Dexter's deal and is upset with him for taking advantage of Ed. Dexter walks out back and tries to tell Ed the truth and apologize. However, they discover that something is wrong with Mondo's burgers when a dog refuses to eat them. Instead, he eats the Good Burger. That dog knows what's up. So they go undercover and head to Mondo Burger to find out what's happening. After being undercover as two women and sneaking into the back of Mondo Burger, they discover that Mondo is putting an illegal chemical called triamphethol into their burger meat to increase its size. Kurt busts Ed and Dexter, kidnaps them, and sends them to Demented Hills, a mental hospital his friend runs to keep them from telling anyone. At the asylum, Kel meets a girl named Heather, played by Linda Cardellini, and makes friends with her.
You have a cute head, too.
Well, I try to keep it nice. So what you in for?
I got in trouble for breaking into the zoo and freeing all the kangaroos.
Every time I see her on screen or hear her voice in a cartoon, I'm constantly reminded of how big of a crush I had on her in the 2000s. Moving on. Meanwhile, late at night at Good Burger, Kurt and his team sneak in and put shark poison into Ed's sauce, and they all get caught by Otis. After Otis threatens to call the police, he is also kidnapped and sent to Demented Hills. How many people have they sent there? Dexter and Ed meet Otis at the asylum, where Otis tells them everything. Dexter devises a plan for the three to break out of the asylum. This leads to a dance party with George Clinton and the others in the asylum. This distracts the guards, who join in, and Dexter knocks them out. He takes the guards' keys and successfully breaks him, Ed, and Otis out of the asylum, as a patient throws Dexter out of the bulletproof window. The three get into an ice cream truck and are chased by the asylum's van. After throwing ice cream into the asylum vehicle's front window, they get away and head back to Good Burger. When they arrive, Ed tackles an elderly woman and stops her from eating a burger with the Ed sauce. Dexter then informs the crew that Kurt poisoned the sauce and tells them not to let anyone consume it and to call the police. Ed and Dexter once again sneaks into Mondo Burger to get some of the triamphethol used on their burgers for proof. While Dexter is distracting everyone, Ed enters the kitchen and pours all the triamphethol cans into the burger meat. This causes the burgers to grow bigger and bigger. On the top of the Mondo building, Ed and Dexter get caught with an empty can of the chemical. However, sadly for Mondo Burger, the burgers start to explode, destroying Mondo's building. While the restaurant falls down, the burger on the Mondo sign falls off and destroys Mr. Wheat's car, which was already repaired.
Why?
The Mondo staff get arrested. Dexter gives Mr. Wheat half of the money he made while promising to pay the other half by the end of the summer, and Dexter calls the deal off with Ed. Dexter and Ed return to Good Burger and everyone celebrates. Finally, the movie ends with Ed delivering his classic line.
Is it because I'm black?
No, the other one.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Overall, I continue to think this movie is fun to watch. While it's not the most amazing thing to come out of Nickelodeon, it certainly has iconic, enjoyable moments. It still makes me laugh today. Kenan and Kel's chemistry still works in this movie and is a testament to the duo's legacy, in my opinion. They just worked so well together, and you can feel their chemistry in the film. The jokes, while cheesy, are pretty funny. Most of the time the acting is pretty good, the cameos are fun, and the film's music is fun. Everything about it is still fun for me. It is truly a landmark for 90s Nickelodeon. Alongside all that, Kenan and Kel, and of course the Nicktoons. I'm not quite sure how they'll pull the sequel off, but I am hoping it will have just as much charm as its predecessor. Maybe we'll see Kirk again, and Dexter and Ed will embark on an adventure far bigger than before. Only time will tell. But I want to know your opinions on this film. Are you a fan of Good Burger or Kenan and Kel? Are you excited about the sequel? Let me know in the comments below. If you like seeing stuff like this and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you can get notified when a new video goes up. Thank you for watching StalgiaTV, and we'll catch y'all next time.